Alright, example 2, we're given that LM is congruent to MN. So we can go ahead and mark LM is congruent to MN. And then XY is congruent to YZ. So here's XY congruent to YZ. Alright, and then we have one more piece of information that we're given, that LM is congruent to XY. Well, here's LM right here, and here's XY. So those two are congruent, which means they should have the same congruency marks. So I'm going to go ahead and add a second congruency mark to LM. Well, we also know that LM is congruent to MN, so I'm going to add a second congruency mark to that as well. So now basically we have 4 congruent segments up there. Our conclusion that we can make is that MN is congruent to YZ. So what we were able to conclude, here's MN is congruent to YZ. That's nothing that was given to us over here. So LM is congruent to MN, XY is congruent to YZ. Those are 4 different segments, but then we're told that 2 of those are congruent to each other. So we can make this conclusion that MN is congruent to YZ, and our reason for that, that's your transitive congruent property. So if segments are congruent to congruent segments, then they are congruent to each other.